بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
Okay, now in this section, we'll start with wireless LAN fundamentals. So probably here we'll be seeing multiple topics. So in this video, I'll be covering wired and wireless comparisons. And probably in the next videos, we'll also talk about the different types of wireless networks we have and the wireless LAN devices, the different devices used in the wireless LAN infrastructure. And also we'll try to understand the difference between the ad hoc mode and the infrastructure mode. So probably here we'll be talking about the difference between the wired and the wireless networks. So let's get started. So the first thing, we'll try to understand the wired networks. So basically, you know, from the basic CCNA studies, you probably aware of this basic concepts where we are going to connect the devices with the help of wired. Now the wired networks, where we do have wire, like if we take an example, a simple LAN. If you want to provide the connectivity between the computers, we use some kind of cable. So we do have some kind of cable which is used to provide the connectivity. And again, this will act as a transmission medium to send the information from one device to another device. And your information, that is nothing but your data, zeros and the ones, will be converted into electrical signals or the light signals depending upon the type of the cable you are using. Like if you're using UTP cables or copper cables, it goes in the form of electrical signals. Again, if you're using some fiber cables, now your information will go in the form of light signals. So the wired networks connects the devices between them with the help of some cables, the wire. Typically it can be LAN or WAN, so it's like common for all. And for LAN, IEEE 802.3 is the standard which is defined for wide Ethernet. So if you are setting up your LAN with your wired network, then this is a standard name, or 802.13. It is going to define the standards, like the set of rules, the protocols, or how the devices should interact with each other, the way they communicate. So these are all defined by IEEE, Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineers, and they will ratify the standards. So same way, 802.11 is again the standard which is defined for wireless. So again, that comes in the next slide. And in order to provide the connectivity, again, you will require multiple devices, like especially in the LAN, you require some cables and you need some interconnecting devices like hubs. Hubs are no more used. We can say switches, which are used specifically connecting between the LAN. And when you're connecting over the WAN links or different networks, you again require some routers providing the connectivity between different networks. And again, in terms of setup, if you're trying to set up a LAN, a wired network, then probably there is too much work you have to do, and you require at least 2 people to do the complete cabling and the setup which is required. Like you will be having some specific dedicated technicians who are generally they are going to pull some wires, probably through the ceiling or through the floor at the time of construction, the construction sites, along with the electrical wiring and other things. And the number of people doing this task may vary depending upon the size of the network, as well as the size of your building or the network. Now again, you need to plan these things prior before you actually start using the network. Just like you do some kind of electrical wiring you do at the time of construction, similar way you need to plan the things prior to the actual use. And again, different tools are used. You need some kind of crimpers, crimping tools, and the cable strippers, punch tools, punch down tools, stoners, and the cable tester. These are all required for you to ensure that we do have a proper cable connectivity on all the sides. Now, again, the speed, in terms of speed, again, with the wide network, you can go up to gig. Like most of the switches, if they support fast Ethernet, they can go up to 100 Mbps. And of course, the WAN links, it depends upon the service provider. And this can go, even nowadays, most of the interfaces, like the router interfaces or the switch interfaces, they do by default support gig interface. So they do something around 1000 Mbps or 1 gig speed. That is something what is offered nowadays. So you can go with more than that, like 10 gig, depending upon the different types of interfaces and the devices supported on that. Now this is something you already know, the wired network. So our job here is just trying to compare how it is going to be different a little bit with the wireless networks. So let's move on with the wireless networks. Now with wireless networks, here the name itself says the wireless means we are providing the connectivity between our devices. Like you can take a simple example, your home setup where you have a Wi-Fi router, and this router is providing the connectivity to your laptop and also your devices like your mobile phones or other devices which are using the wireless setup. So that is a simple example of your small wireless network in your home. Now we do have a connectivity, so we are still connected, but without a wire. That's what it says, wireless. Now again, if there is no wire, then how the data is going to be transferred? The data transfer, again, the air is again the medium to transfer the data, and probably these antennas, they do generate some kind of radio frequency signals, the radio signals, and that radio frequency signals will be responsible for sending the data. Means in the form of radio frequency signals, we can say. Like in case of wide networks, they use electrical signals. Here we can call them as radio frequency signals here. So you can compare the radio frequency signals same as your cell phones. So if you're using your cell phones, probably you do get the signals from the nearest antenna, which is again covering the area. Now as long as you're within that particular coverage area, you can get the signal. So you can compare this with the TV or radio stations as well. They are also one form of a wireless signal. But again, the frequency will differ again. The signals what we'll be using in our LAN, that will differ. We'll talk about more in the radio frequency topic later on. So here the medium of connectivity is like the radio frequency signals. The information is carried over the wire, over the wireless, without any wire, over the air, in the form of radio frequency signals. And again, the standard for the wireless is 802.11. So all your products, the wireless products, will have the 802.11 standard, and then you have some extensions like A, B, G, AC. These different extensions will define different parameters, the speeds, the specifications will vary again. So we'll talk more on that in the standards, wireless standards. Probably they will try to understand the common standards which can be used with wireless and what and how they differ. Now again, the benefits of the wireless networks, if you compare with the wired network, it is easy to set up because you don't need to do some kind of cabling or plan the things prior. Probably that's really not required because there is no wire, so it's kind of easy to set up, and you just need one person or few people required to set up. Like again, if you have, let's say if you're setting up a wireless network in your office where you have 2 floors, then probably you can plan some devices like access points, and you can configure, probably done by one person is something you can do with just a minimum people. And of course the fewer configurations are required because the configurations mostly it will be GUI, and it's a kind of easy kind of configurations you can do. So a simple example is your wireless router you use in your home connections. You just connect that WAN cable which goes to the internet, and then you set up some few things like define the network and define the password and few other parameters, SSID. And once you just do that, now your network is ready to go ahead. So of course, depending upon the size of the network, that will vary again. The next thing is like mobility. Now, one of the major advantage with the wireless is your devices are not fixed. Like if you're using a wired connection, so basically you're connecting your PC, you do have a cable, and it's something you cannot move your device. And if you want to move to a different place, like let's say if I'm using my laptop, then probably what I need to do is I need to remove the cable and probably connect to the cable on the other side if you're moving between the floors like that. So with the help of wireless, you can still get connected, you can be connected as long as you're within the coverage area. So if I'm moving my device from here probably to here, I can still be connected to the network, and that's the main advantage we get with the wireless here. So it provides you something called mobility for the users, as they can connect within the network, means they can be a part of the network as long as they are within the coverage area. Now the speed, in terms of speed, if you compare the wireless, the speed will be a little bit less, because with wide network you get a better throughput with a high speed data transfer rates. But when it comes to wired, you can get up to, from minimum from 2 Mbps to, you can still get up to 400 Mbps to even 1 gig or 1.3 gig. Again, it depends totally on what kind of wireless standard you are using. Like I think there is something called 802.11 AC standard. If you're using it, then you can get this throughput. But most of the wireless devices like the 802.11 BRG, which are commonly used, the standard, they can offer from 11 Mbps to 54 Mbps speeds. And again, the speed it totally depends upon the number of users again you connect, the more and type of wireless device you're using, or the wireless access point you're using. So there are plenty of factors which will decide the speed or the throughput in your wireless network. But when you compare this with a wired network, you will get lesser throughput if you are comparing with your wired network here. And one more thing you need to remember, you need to consider about security here, because the wireless offer you the benefits of mobility, like as long as you are within this coverage area, we can still get connected. That's the advantage we get. And also it is prone to some kind of security issues, like if there is any user who is probably might be a visitor, and if he is also sitting in that coverage area or within your campus, then there is a possibility that that particular user may try to connect to your network and gain access to the network resources. So that's something you need to consider. So that's the reason, in terms of wireless, security is important. So most of the wireless standards, they do support some kind of strong authentication, where we can ensure that if any user is trying to connect to the wireless network, so it's going to prompt for some password, and that password is kind of encrypted password. And also, while you are sharing the data, most of the data, again, you can encrypt your data. So to ensure that if these two devices are talking to each other, if someone captures your data, probably he cannot be able to see that particular data. So we'll talk more on this in the security section, where we'll try to see the different security options we have with the wireless in wireless security. And then finally, we need to also know what are the devices required. So there are multiple devices required. Like we need an access point which is going to provide you the connectivity, just like it will do the job of a switch, a centralized device from where you can connect. And if you're in your network, if you are running in a company network where you have hundreds of access points like airports or shopping malls, then we need another device called wireless LAN controller. So where you can control or manage all the access points from one single centralized location.